Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Jack Ship podcast. I'm your host, Tharen Productions, here today with guest Tiles
Guest Tiles. All right, yep, that's me. Hey, everyone.
and Ryu N. If you want to introduce yourself as well.
You want to start first?
Though you can go if you want.
Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Studio N here, RYUEN, and I'm here with the main man Tharen here, the Jack Shit podcast. So we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to let the host do that. But, yep, pleasure to be on. I'm glad that, geez, I can't talk today. Thank you for having me on the show tonight.
All good. That's easy. And I think on the YouTube there will be a link to Ryu's channel in the description if you want to go check that out. And I don't think you've done a video recently, but all the old ones are still quality, if you want to go check those out. And today we're just going to be going through, And today we're just going to be going through 2016 and 2017 video games. Did you say that you wanted to talk about No Man's Sky to start off with?
Sure, we can start off. I can start off with No Man's Sky.
I'd like to add some input on that as well. But if you want to go ahead, I know you already did a video on it and you were quite annoyed.
Yeah, so No Man's Sky, where do I start? One of the most hyped up games of 2016. When I first saw the trailer, one of my coworkers showed me. It's like so immense. You have 18 bajillion planets that you can explore, and then you're doing all this star fighting, and it was touted that it was going to be a multiplayer game, but I think 5 minutes I got into it about 2 or 3 hours, and I was already done with it. The thing is, the game was a really big grinder. Just give you an example. You land on a planet, you look for minerals, and you use those minerals to repair or power your ship, and then go and rinse and repeat. And it got really boring after about 2 or 3 hours, and that was my gripe, and I think that was a lot of people's gripes about the game.
Yeah, I got on PlayStation and I played for about 15 before I got sick of it, just because I wanted to see if it got better over time when you unlocked more stuff, but it just didn't. There was just no substance there.
I think realistically, it's the hype that killed it. Like ultimately, I mean, it wasn't. If they released it as like a $20 indie game, I'm sure it would have been received so much better.
Yeah.
Because I had one guy who really enjoyed it because he likes the grindy games where I can't stand it when it's the same thing over and over again. He kind of liked the whole concept of finding new planets, researching stuff, and unlocking new discoveries, but I couldn't do it over and over again. I did one planet and just kind of got fed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was reading that they released a update for what is it called, the
Foundation
Builder
update?
or Universe, something like that. I was just looking at it earlier on, but yeah, they added a lot of stuff which I felt should have been in the game since day one. I mean, look at it. It was touted as a AAA title, but you got early development worth of content in there. With this new update in there, they're stating that you can build bases, you can get freighters, do all this trading and stuff. And my thing is, why not have that at the beginning of the game? And you've pissed off a lot of people as it is, so it's really gonna be hard for Hello Games to gain that traction back again. I mean, they've really pissed off a lot of people.
What I think and what I hope though is that this kind of letdown kind of gets AAA game companies to be like, the crowd actually does want a game like this. Maybe we could chuck some funds together and create something better because there is a hole which is like that kind of space exploration open world stuff, and I think Hello Games didn't have the resources or like the manpower to make it happen. But I think an actual AAA company could do it.
Yeah. They had the vision and they brought us into it when they weren't ready to complete it.
Right.
And I've played the Foundation update because I still own it, and I went back into it hoping that it would be better. And it's a step, but it's like from a 4 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10 game. Like it's still not like worth what I originally paid for it at all, let alone the price that it still is.
Right.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I don't wish anything ill about the company. I hope they've learned from this,
Yeah,
and
dude, they had like death
you know,
threats and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a bit too far.
What's that?
They were getting death threats and stuff. Like, come on, guys.
yeah, like I said, they pissed off a lot of people, and their intentions were well. It just, however, one thing is, I think what really, really made people upset, besides the lack of content and the repetitive gameplay, is that it was sold for a AAA price. I mean, here in the States, it was $60 on Steam, and I got it for PC. And I felt that a game like this right now is since it's like an open beta or something like early development, early access, $20 easily.
Yeah, I reckon a lot of people would have been really happy with it if it was $20 instead of like here would have been 80 or 100 or something.
Yeah, it was
Ridiculous.
$100. Yeah.
Yeah, $100. Yeah.
Really, $80 US?
80 Australian dollars, but it's pretty much the same when converted.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
That is a lot for a game. Excuse me.
Well, I've got a question for you. Do you reckon that Hello Games could kind of come back even like and create a different game, or do you reckon they've lost the trust of everybody?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You reckon that Hello Games could come back and kind of create a new, like if they created a new game, would people buy it or would people just outright not trust?
That's tricky, but it is possible. They have to do a lot of work. One, they just have to earn the trust of the people that it pissed off with No Man's Sky initially, because again, that was one of the most hyped up games of 2016, and a lot of people have been just disenfranchised with Hello Games. And it's not impossible. Again, they really have to do a lot of work. They really have to speak um, to their customer base now in order I'm sorry, to their existing customer base, whoever's left around, and try to show them, okay, here we're producing another game. It's not like No Man's Sky, but here's what we have, and just be straightforward about it.
I think we're not going to have to worry for a while. I think the next 2 years for Hello Games will just be them patching and adding features to No Man's Sky until they think that they're happy with it, and then they might do something else. But it's going to be a while before they even finish with No Man's Sky. It looks like they're going to put the time in and try and make it what they originally said it was.
Good on them for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's respectable to hate something that a lot of people have been
They
condemning.
could have just left it.
Yeah,
when it
they
failed.
could have just absolutely left it for dead and just ran off. But
Yeah.
it is respectable that they did actually try and put some effort into it afterwards.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, don't. I wouldn't discount, count Hello Games out of the race right now. Again, very ambitious, small studio. They put together something like that, and I applaud them for it. Just like you stated, another 2 years or so is just gonna be crowd control and damage repair.
All right. So we should jump into 2016. If I've got a list here of some of my favorite games and some of just the general favorite games, but there might be some input that you have or Tiles has on top of that.
No, trust me, there'll be input, mate. There'll be input.
Yeah, I've
I know your favourite games, and I'm gonna rip into them.
Show no mercy.
Yeah, so I think maybe not. My favourites were either Uncharted 4 or Battlefield 1. Bit of a toss up. There was a bit of time between them, playing them to pick between that. And then I've got games that other people have told me were their favourites have been Doom, Dishonored 2, Titanfall 2, and Overwatch. Those four I haven't played, but a lot of people talk about as some of their favourites. And do you guys have any specific favourites of the year?
Well, we'll discuss your Battlefield 1 talking a bit, obviously.
Sure.
But I know that you, Darren, don't really particularly like Overwatch. That's clear, obviously. But I think I played the beta when it came out. I didn't even realize I didn't want to play it. Someone showed me the trailer from BlizzCon when it was first release. I was like, I don't give a crap. But then someone said, "Oh, get the beta. We're all playing it." So I grabbed the beta, and it was pretty fun. Like it wasn't super fun. It was just another game. I was just playing with my mates. Then I don't know what happened, but something made me buy it, even though it had a ridiculous starting price for just just multiplayer. Online shooter. But nothing stopped me from. I'm going back to it every day. I don't know what's happened to me, but I'm really, really enjoying this game. And I think it's just the detail of just polish, and they've taken criticisms from other games. Like a lot of people when I used to play League of Legends, they complain that Riot didn't have enough champion interaction. Where, say in Dota, some of the characters would have lines when talking to each other during the game, and they really liked that. But Riot didn't really do much of that. But Overwatch, there is like every pre game in the kind of like the ship or like before they get into the match, there's always like at least one banter between the characters, and it really gives a sense of that there is a whole world behind. There's not just this one match, this one game they're playing. There's a whole world behind the Overwatch story, and I think they incorporated that really well, which is why I keep coming back in again and again. And there's just something about the game. I really can't put a finger on it, to be honest.
Yeah, I never played Overwatch, to be honest. Some of my friends and my older coworkers, they were on the Overwatch train and say, "Hey man, you got to get PS4." At the time I just had Xbox One and PC, and it didn't really interest me. I mean, to me it looked like another shooter, and I was like, okay, what's so special about this? But I've heard nothing but positive reviews about the game. One of my buddies on Facebook, he's always updating his play of the game. I think he uses is there a character named Hanzo in there, right? The ninja or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's that?
No, Hanzo's it's like in the Overwatch community, it's kind of like a stereotypical. Man, I love to be a cool archer dude. I'm gonna solo the whole game. I don't need my team or anything. But
So
it's amazing the
go ahead.
communities like it's got its life of its own. Like this game's only been out for I don't know when it came out or whatever. But like these people already, if you say, "Oh, I'm a Hanzo main," people already stereotype you. Or like, I'm a Genji main or a Mercy main or whatever. Like I think it's become a part of mainstream gaming really, really fast, faster than anything else has.
I agree with that.
I reckon it's going to stick around for a while as well.
I agree with that too. I don't have a real problem with it because I haven't played it enough too. Like, my opinion is just I can't play it that much, and it doesn't seem like it's worth the price of what it is.
No, I felt the same when
to
I
me.
started. I felt the same.
Yeah, especially the lack of campaign from Blizzard is the thing that annoys me the most, because Blizzard campaigns are always my favourite campaigns, and Overwatch has such a rich
Yeah, I
story.
have to agree. Blizzard, they always do a good job with their games, their campaign and their storylines. They always do an excellent job.
And people always talk about the character's backstory and stuff, so I don't understand. Like, they've got to do it at some point, because they've got so much backstory, they just need to put in a 10-hour campaign, and it'll be amazing. Just got to put the time in.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing too, since everything, I think a lot of games are moving away from the storyline, the campaign mode, and moving to more of a MMO space. Because I know, like, some of the games you have, some of these games that I'm looking at here, they're really based for online interaction. I mean, that's the way that gaming is going. It's just like game centers, video game centers. You go there, you play game centers. Advent of the consoles, game centers disappeared, and when consoles came out, played at home, online play became available. Okay, that's okay. I'm just gonna buy this game just to play online right there. And sooner or later, I feel for some of these really big games, Overwatch, for example. A storyline or a solo single player campaign is they're slowly gonna fade out unless it's like a one player game that you have on console. Then yeah, that's different, but MMO games that offer multiplayer, it's just gonna be strictly focused on multiplayer.
I think that's good to an extent because you can get the company to solely focus on the multiplayer. There's no single player like division of the team needed, which I think benefits a lot of games. But there's still something about not having a single player experience which bugs me a little bit.
I think Overwatch not having one, and the other big thing for me was Halo not having split screen anymore. It just shows that the gaming landscape has changed from couch play to just yelling over a headset and stuff. And personally,
Exactly.
I never really liked that very much. I prefer the split screen feel of a game, or the local feeling when you're playing with friends.
Exactly.
Do you have a
It's because like I was thinking recently that you I reckon games are now either single player or they're multiplayer. Like I was looking for my PS4 games and they're games like Assassin's Creed where I guess it does have a multiplayer, but it's
like a single player with a multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's mostly a single player. So I do miss Couch Co-op. I miss Couch Co-op quite a bit, to be honest. Like those like Halo games and the original Battlefronts were absolutely killer just playing with a mate. Like playing with Battlefront, playing the just Jedi only fighting around Moss LSC was one of the highlights of my damn childhood. But now I feel like they've just gone out of single player and multiplayer, which is it's a new kind of vision, which I don't hate. I just want to see if they can kind of go with it if it works.
You played Battlefront 2, didn't you? I think I saw a video of you playing.
Yes.
Yeah, such a
Yeah, I still play the original Battlefront 2. I have it on Steam. I play online a lot nowadays.
such a classic.
Absolutely.
It is by far the best out of the Star Wars Battlefront series. I mean, that's including EA Battlefront. I mean, that's a total different topic as well. But yeah, Battlefront 2 is it's a gem. That thing will hold its value forever.
Do you have a favorite game of the year for you?
My favorite game of the year, let's see. I'd say my favorite game of the year would have had to been Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's it was again it's an online multiplayer only game, but it's one of those games. One, it's a jump scare game, so you always gotta be on your A game, watching your side for the killer that comes out of you, and then you have that in-game camaraderie. If someone wants to help you out, or if you just want to leave them behind, but it's better to work together, and that's the visual, the graphics, just the gameplay. That's one of my favorite games of this year.
Is Dead by Daylight the 5-player one?
Yes, you play as four survivors and then one person trying to kill the survivors.
I was really the only reason I didn't buy that and play the hell out of that is because I think the requirements were too high for my computer. Because I was really into that when it started being shown. I was following along with that game. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I had to get an upgrade on my GPU in order to actually play it. And even with my GPU, I had to tweak the settings down just a bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's worth it though.
Yeah, it's a fun game. That's my favorite. What about you?
What would you say your favorite game? Give me this list of like 10 games.
I would probably go for Uncharted 4. I don't think I played enough of the good games. Like I missed Doom this year, which might have been my favorite, but I hadn't played an Uncharted before, so I wasn't like biased to it being like kind of done in the last 3. So Uncharted 4 was probably my favourite game of the year, in my opinion.
That's right. See,
They have multiplayer on there,
yeah, is
right?
that multiplayer?
Yeah, it has kind of like, it's kind of like tacked on as well. It's like single player with some multiplayer, which is kind of annoying.
I would say for my game of the year, I guess I don't want to jump on the Overwatch bandwagon, but I have played it the most this year. I've been really enjoying. I've recently bought Rock Band 4, which brings back the couch co-op memories that I have, having a bunch of mates come over and bash the instruments. And now they've got like a huge, absolutely huge song library, so that's been really good as well. I think that EA and Harmonix have done something right there.
Harmonix did some good VR stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm glad the early adopters in the VR, they're going to lead, which is good.
Have you played any virtual reality for you?
I did take a tour of what was it called? What's the one called? I was in Best Buy. I was looking for some PC parts, and sorry. Yes, that one. I played it at at Best Buy. I just did a quick demo of it, but man, it was so surreal. It was awesome. Other than that, no, I haven't played any VR games this year. Yeah, I haven't. That's the next big thing right now. I'd like to get on board and play a few.
Yeah, I honestly might. I don't know which one I'd pick, but I might change my answer to one of the PlayStation VR games. Probably.
I think
I don't know if
Batman
I can count Batman as a game because it was only 30 minutes.
I think. Well,
But if you count it as a game, then it was definitely the best of the year for 30 minutes. Maybe Until Dawn Rush of Blood was really good. That was like a VR shooter. That was probably the best full game on there, full release game. But most of them at the moment are like short, hour or less.
It makes sense. I mean, it's just the new thing. But I wholly believe that VR will be the next big thing. I've tried yours, and I think I had fun in the Batman thing. I just got lost in it. I was absolutely immersed. That's the next level of gaming. Just absolutely. I'm very excited. It's the next level of gaming. It feels like the future is here right now.
Yeah.
So when you're playing it, do you feel it? Do you like really feel like in the game, like you're Batman?
Absolutely. Like no other people say like, oh, Battlefield 1's really immersive because like the cover fire and stuff, but nothing beats having just your entire vision filled with that, looking around and being in the action as it happens. There is absolutely nothing more amazing than that. I can't get enough. Like there's been times we've been playing, like even Job Simulator, like a very simple virtual reality game. I'll take the headset off and like, how long was I in there? It's just so much longer than I thought it was, just because I was really immersed with what was happening.
I think every time everyone came over to use it the first time, at one point I would turn the TV off and everyone would just be standing there quietly, like no sound, and the person's there with the headset and the headphones and they just keep playing, they just have no idea. And you can just see how fully immersed, like the TV's off, no one's saying anything, and they're just continuing their conversations and they're just completely in that world. Just in their own.
Every time I had it on, I just had a massive grin on my face. I love it so much. nothing makes me happy.
It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And these are like all the small demos that we've been seeing have been like they've just been companies trying out what VR is like. Just if you think about what like the PS3 looked like at the start of its run, like I use this comparison, but what Oblivion looked like, and then what Skyrim looked like. I know it's not the best example, but you can see the difference in the games. Like Oblivion at the start of the PS3 cycle, and then Skyrim at the end. We've seen the stuff at the beginning of the cycle, the beginning of the PSVR cycle. How good can it get from there? And I think you can absolutely amazing.
I don't want to just completely suck Sony's dick. There's a lot. The pricing on everything is just like games like Job Simulator that's like 2 hours to completely finish is like $50, and the headset's $600 already. So early adopter prices are horrible, but other than that, everything's been great on that so far.
Yeah.
And it's only the first second month now.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with the headset itself is fantastic. Like all my friends with glasses can wear it fine. Like Georgia just put it on, fantastic. Like she didn't see anything wrong with it. I was worried that it wouldn't work, but it just worked fine.
Yeah, it's pretty accessible. I mean, now we're getting into VR talk, but I think the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, sorry about the slim. I'm just very excited.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I want to talk about it. The PlayStation VR, I think they've said sold 3 million units compared to like the PlayStation 4 sold 50. That's a very large percentage of people.
Yeah, only a VR.
And that's more than the Vive and Oculus combined. PSVR.
Them buying the PS4 and the PSVR would have been more than $1,000 straight up, but that's a purchase they're willing to go.
But the thing is, like 3 million in 2 months. The PSVR is going to bring it to the masses.
Yeah.
That combined with the now $99 Android VR headset, VR by 2018 is going to be like a household thing. It'll be like 3D TVs. Your grandparents will be talking about it. They'll be like, "How's the VR? Can you bring it over?" And everyone will jump into it. I think from watching YouTube videos to movies to games, everything will just be jumping in.
Absolutely.
So, question here is that what's going to come after VR? I mean, within a span of 20 years, we've gone from, let's say, PlayStation 4. PlayStation 1. Actually, we'll go with Nintendo 64. Now we're at virtual reality. What's next after 2019?
It's really insane how we've gone from the 64 to the PS4. Like, absolutely, it's just mind-blowing thing. And the opportunities are endless. Absolutely endless.
I think the thing that I haven't seen talked about yet is that the VR it's not an accessory for the PlayStation or the PC. I think when the PC came out, that's what it's going to become. The VR will become, within 10 years, a platform that you just...
Yeah.
Like, there's all these movies with people just having stuff in their eyes. VR will become just a part of everything that you do. There'll be glasses, and you'll just get virtual reality in your head at some point.
And that's going to be what people grow up with. That's the weirdest thing. Kids are going to grow up with, like, VR. Like, I've seen, like...
Yeah.
Well, like...
You'll talk to your kids and you'll be like, "What did you do today, Tommy?" And he'll be like, "Oh, I was just running around, like, some made-up universe."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What? When'd you go there?" "Oh, I just put on my headset for 8 hours."
Technology is ridiculous. Like, when I see kids who are about, like, kids that are 5 years old, I ask them, because, Minecraft's still the rage, I ask them, how old are you? Oh, 5 years old, and I love Minecraft. And then I said, I was playing Minecraft before you were born. And these people are going to grow up with VR. And they can't fathom it. It's like they're saying we can't fathom life without the internet, but obviously there was life without the internet. Now it's going to be VR, life without VR. And we used to just sit in front of the TV and the flat screen TV and watch that. Now you're immersed in the world, and that's fantastic.
Well, see, with the thing with VR, you can at least stand up, try to walk around, get some type of exercise, rather than just sitting on your ass playing the games all day.
And they've already got, like, backpacks, PCs and backpacks and stuff, so you can, like, walk around the house. I think the Vive shows you your real-world stuff. Like, if you're about to walk into a table, it, like, shows you at the table with a camera. So it's becoming, like, just like a clear screen, basically, in some ways.
That's good.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Surrogates? Just on the topic of virtual reality, Surrogates. So it's basically it was with Bruce Willis. It was a movie, I think it was 2006 or 7. So it's basically what you're explaining right now. Everyone lived in virtual reality and stayed inside of their homes. So they would go inside. They would go inside their virtual reality headset, whatever, and then they would actually go into the real world through a robot or a hologram.
I'm worried about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's a legitimate worry to have.
Yeah. And then when you mentioned that with the camera on the Vive, it's like that's the first thing I was thinking about.
But when the cooler VR, when it's more appealing to be in a virtual world, when nothing's nothing goes wrong, like there's no war or anything.
Yeah.
I think that might appeal to a lot of people. And I think that will be the kicker.
Mm-hmm. But it's the
I
same.
think video games have always been a form of escapism or
Yeah.
entertainment.
The question is, does the virtual headset mean that people are going to spend more time in there or not? Because at the moment, I think the fatigue just takes away from it. Like, you're not going to spend 24 hours in a headset just because it's a headset.
Yeah,
but at one point, we may hear stories about people dying because they forget that they're playing a game or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably the next 5 years, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty close.
I mean, people already do that.
If it happened with Warcraft, World of Warcraft, I'm pretty sure that could happen with a Vive or any virtual reality headset.
Yeah, very
It's like, oh, I forgot to eat. I've been in here for 10 hours. I should get something to eat.
Does anyone have any last points on all of that? Otherwise, we'll take a short break and then come right back.
Did Ratchet and Clank come out this year?
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank was this year.
I quite enjoyed that just because I really liked the originals. That was my childhood game, pretty much. And I think it did justice to it with the whole, like, it stayed in the humour. And it was a cool time with the movie, which I haven't seen yet because I'm waiting on someone else to see it with me. But because it never came to Australian cinemas, really disappointing. But apart from that, I think it was quite a fun game just to have a blast from the past. Really, it was very short, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest. It did. I finished it in about, I think it was something ridiculous, like less than 10 hours or something. But I think it was a good experience. I really did enjoy it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did you like about it the most?
I just think it was the sense of nostalgia. Like, they brought the aspects from the later games from the series to the original setting. And there was this one particular moment when you go to the first proper planet you visit, and the landing sequence, and the first thing you see is the whole what you saw when you played the first game, but with PlayStation 4 graphics from the PlayStation 2, and it was pretty much just a nostalgia hit back to me, which I'm happy with because I really enjoyed it. I guess some people who didn't.
I had a very I bought the game, but I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah,
it was a good game, but I didn't have that whole nostalgia kick to it.
Yeah. I feel that was the major difference between people who just enjoyed the game or who loved the game.
Yeah. Did you have any points on all that, Ryu?
No. I don't have any points on that one.
Alright. We'll take like a 2-minute break and then come back. Is that alright?
Sounds solid.
Alright. Hey guys, thanks for watching the Tharen Productions Jack Shit podcast. We have a couple of deals here for you. If you'd like to look in the description, we have a freedom link to help you get started on your journey to YouTube fame. Make sure to go check that out. We've also got some game giveaways that we'll be doing. Until those are finished, the first game is called Music Machine, which is a narrative-focused horror game. It's kind of interesting, it's not my kind of game, but a lot of people may enjoy it. We've got a code up for grabs, so if you want to get that, just leave a comment of any kind, and I'll be directly responding to people with that code. And we've also got the side-scrolling RPG Creepy Castle up for grabs. If you want to claim that key, make sure to leave a comment as well. You can go take a look at the games yourself. There'll be a little bit of a video, hopefully, on this YouTube video here. If you want to take a look at them, if any of them interest you, make sure to leave a comment. And lastly, if you want to save 10% off G Fuel, make sure to use the code FREEDOM in all caps. That's FREEDOM in all caps at the checkout for 10% off G Fuel. Hey guys, welcome back to the Jack Shit podcast. Here with Tiles and Ryu N, and I am your host, Tharen Productions.
Yo.
Hey.
So, does anyone have any specific games that they're looking forward to in the future that they're considering pre-ordering or anything like that?
I do. Shenmue
3? That's a good call. Did you play the other ones or just interested in it now?
No, I played the originals on Dreamcast, and I was really bummed out when they said they're not gonna. They were when it was in development hell. To me, Shenmue was one of those really those one of those games that you remember. The storyline, the FMV sequences and the quick time events. I was like, I've never played something like this before. This is so cool, and it was cool. You know, you get the throwbacks to the old Sega games like Afterburner and Super Hang On that you can play in the game. It's like Exhibit. I heard you like games, dog, so I put some games inside some games like that. But yeah, Shenmue 3, it's something I've been looking forward to. When I traveled over to Japan, I way back when, and I wanted to buy a copy of Shenmue 2 since it didn't come out to the States at that time. That's how much of a fan I became of the series.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't play any of the Shenmue games. Could you give a quick rundown for anybody who doesn't really know?
Yep. So Shenmue, it starts off. The background is starts off in the '80s in Japan. It follows the tale of Ryo Hazuki, and he's trying to avenge his father. He was killed by a man named Landi. Excuse me. So he goes through out of Japan at Yokozuka, and he's always looking. He's looking around with clues to where he can find his father's killer. Ultimately, leads him down to a Chinese warehouse over in Japan, and then from there it segues into part two where he's going through China again looking for his father's killer. It's pretty much a game about it's a revenge type game. And have you guys played Virtual Fighter? Any of the Virtual Fighters?
No, sorry.
Okay, yeah, Virtual Fighter. It was Sega's. It was the Tekken of Sega. Let's just say it like that. And Virtual Fighter, their series, they're really big. So it encompasses a lot of Virtual Fighter in there, along with the story. So it's a really good game. I'd say go and try to buy it, but man, Shenmue, trying to find those for Dreamcast or I think for Xbox is expensive.
I think I can speak a little bit for that because I've heard that some of the selling points were like the immersion. I think it was maybe not the first, but one of the first games with a day-night cycle and a weather cycle, and the characters changed over time. Like it wasn't like
Yes.
a script, just one script. There were multiple stories you could go with every side character and stuff like that. So it was kind of like really, really immersive.
Yes, it was. It was. And it was very open. Yeah, it's a very open-ended game. And they're not the first. AM2 wasn't the first to use that in the game. It was very, very open-ended. And again, just to like the small Easter eggs in there. Um, and what you can do in the game, I mean, you can go around, you can buy drinks, you can go around, you can gamble, and you go around buy hot dogs, things like that. Go around talk to other people or help someone on a side mission. Again, a lot of the game two was about waiting. Again, with that day and night cycle that you had mentioned, waiting was a really big part. So sometimes what you have to do in order to kill time, go play some video games or go train at a martial arts dojo, which are options in the game.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
I think it was basically just like the 1998 or something equivalent of GTA 5, just like a perfectly polished open world game at the time.
Yeah, for what they could do.
Yeah, I think that's what the whole appeal was. And yeah, you want to?
Oh no, I'll feel like.
I know the Shenmue 3 already got kickstarted, and I think that's a Sony exclusive, or they're publishing it or something. I was kind of interested in that.
Sony and PS4 and PC.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I've got a few. Looking at Tharen's list here, disagree with much of it. So I've got three heavy hitters up for 2017, which I didn't realize were coming out. But Persona 5, I loved Persona 4 Golden on the PSP, and I think that's going to be really just such a stylistic game. That's going to be fantastic when it comes out. That and obviously Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I think coming out on the Switch is going to be bloody fantastic. And the other game, well, I say the other game, but it's a bit of a 50-50 if it comes out in 2017, being Kingdom Hearts 3, which quite possibly might be delayed until I die. But If that happens, it happens. It happens. But that game we've been waiting since I've been like 10 years old. So.
I remember you guys getting me in on that because you were so into Kingdom Hearts. When the PS4 was announced, the PS4 was announced, one of the reasons I got a PS4 was because you guys kept talking about Kingdom Hearts, and it's been like 3 years now, and it hasn't even been released date yet.
I thought it was coming out. Okay, I was hoping. I've seen trailers for it, but I don't think it'll ever come out in my life.
They're doing.
That's alright.
Didn't they just do 2.8?
Yeah, 2.8.
So they'll do 2.9 and then 3.
Yeah, probably 2.9 to 2.95.
Jesus Christ.
But
Jeez.
when it does come out, Kingdom Hearts was the pinnacle of my gaming experience, and I'm just going to go on a coma and play that until I finish it when it comes out, which could be most likely 2018 to be realistic.
It could be.
But when it comes out, that's day one purchase. That's going to buy whatever statue comes with it. Going to pay $200 for whatever limited edition pre-order editions they have. I'm going to buy the shit out of it.
Are you gonna buy the season pass?
You know what? I hope it does have a season pass. I love DLC.
Jeez, it's gonna give you one character, 3 characters. You start off with Goofy, Mickey, and Cloud. Then you have to buy everything else.
If they did that, if they went microtransaction hell on it, I would buy every single one of them. That's how much of a sucker I am for Kingdom Hearts. I wouldn't even regret any of that. Regret absolutely nothing. I noticed another game you don't know is Red Dead 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
I finished about half of that. That's coming out.
I've pre-ordered Red Dead 2 already.
Jesus, yeah, of course you have. Man.
Well, it was a $10 deposit, so I mean.
Yeah, $10. Yeah, that's alright.
I think I mentioned it because they said they were selling out of it.
Yeah, we're gonna sell out of pre-orders.
Sorry, we can't offer any more mystical pre-orders.
Mystical pre-orders, yeah. I reckon that's gonna be a solid game. The Rockstar never really disappoints.
Yeah.
On the base game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for 2017. What about you, Tharen?
Well, I have one in a similar line to Kingdom Hearts because I've been excited for. Well, I was excited for The Witcher 3 from when the PS4 came out, even though I didn't play the previous ones, and I got really into that, all the expansions, and then I got into Gwent when they released that, and I've been following along Cyberpunk, which they announced in 2012.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm pretty excited for that as well.
And they said it'll come out when it's done, and the rumours have been 2019, maybe 2020. But just recently I saw on their schedule or budget or whatever, they've leaked that they're going to be releasing a beta in March, and then releasing the game in 2017, apparently. Now, it's not confirmed or anything, but if, they just won RPG of the Year 2 years in a row, and Game of the Year last year, if they release a game just without, talking about it, if they just bring it out this year, the hype would be massive. I would get so into that. I would get every available edition for that, because that's the thing I love about any product, really. If they don't tease it, I was hyped for Battlefront, but they showed a trailer 2 years before the game and the hype dies down. You need to keep it secret and then show it 12 months at the most away from release, because then the hype builds up with more stuff and you get gameplay and finished gameplay and then the game. Rather than waiting and waiting.
I reckon Fallout 4 would have been a lot worse for a game if they released a trailer a year or two ago, but they released it and then it came out. So.
Yeah, they released the trailer and then at the end it said November 2016.
Yeah,
everyone was like, whoa!
What the hell?
That's 6 months.
Yeah, that's kind of close. That's interesting.
That's what I love. I love when games do that.
Yeah.
And
there's one more game I wanted to add on here that I'm looking forward to 2017. Again, looking at your list, Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom, the Versus series that Capcom has always done with the Marvel property, their characters. Love them. I first started off with Marvel superheroes, playing it in the Game Center, and then the last time I played it was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. A lot different mechanics than what I'm used to, but The games have always been good, and I've always been a big fan of Capcom games as well as Marvel. Reading the comic books growing up, so it's always cool. And I've enjoyed these versus series since they first came out. Even geez, when did Marvel superheroes come out? 94, 1994. So geez, yeah, 22 years later. One thing is that they're what I heard is that they're not gonna have X-Men characters in there. Because what Disney, well, Marvel's doing right now, they're killing off X-Men.
It's pretty. I mean, not to get too sidetracked, but it's pretty good strategy removing X-Men from all the games and comics because Fox won't let them make X-Men movies. It's like, what's the point of having the movies? We can't have them in anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just like giving them the cold shoulder. But so when you mention game centers, you mean like arcades? Just because it's kind of different for us, yeah. They're just called game centers over there in New York.
No, it's actually. I mean, I'm speaking like I'm still living in Japan. In Japan, they're called game centers. So I mean, I'm like thinking in Japanese and English at the same time. So yeah, and arcades. Arcades is a Western thing. Yeah, we call them arcades over here in New York.
It's interesting how easy the arcadey, like Street Fighters and stuff, transitioned to games because they really did pretty well.
Yeah. I can't think of any arcades that became video game series
Apart from the Fighters, yeah. I guess some of the like spaceship shooters, like Gun.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like Pac-Man and stuff on phones, but they've like died off.
Yeah, whereas
The thing that's going strong is like Street Fighter.
Street Fighters have gone ballistic on consoles because it's another good couch co-op, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
1v1's
even
always
Injustice did really well, and that's
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to, but I didn't know how popular DC would be.
And I think Injustice 2 is next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC always has a good fan base. I think there's a couple more, not necessarily I'm going to buy them all, but I'll just throw them out. Crackdown, which I have been following for the cloud capacity. Dawn of War 3.
Dawn of War 3, I think. Well, I mean, Dawn of War 2, I think it was kind of a single player more. It was a bit different, but Dawn of War 1, I had a lot of fun with. Well, the most memorable times is in just high school, kind of playing on the school's network, everybody having massive network battles. And that's because I was a big fan, kind of still am, of the Warhammer miniatures, so it transitioning to an RTS, I think it's absolutely perfect for the kind of Dawn of War genre they have, which is so good. And they did well with it. They did well. I'm excited to see what they can do with Dawn of War 3, to be honest.
It's been a while.
Yeah, definitely.
There's also Mass Effect Andromeda, Battlefront 2, hopefully with a campaign, otherwise I for one won't be buying it. Resident Evil 7, which I at the very least, I'm only excited for. I don't like Resident Evil, but because it's a full AAA VR game, I'm going to get it and play it just to see what a 15-hour VR game is like, and hopefully from there we get more.
If it's good, I think it will be like the thing that everybody keeps talking about when it comes to VR. Like, oh, do you know?
Especially because it's exclusive.
Yeah, Red 7 was the first AAA VR game that's going to go down in history. If it is good, if it is playable, if it's fun for the whole 15 hours, if the VR doesn't get tiring.
I reckon if it sells well, we'll see Batman and Battlefront VR becoming full games as well. They'll make full games for that.
Yeah, that's a given.
There's a couple. There's Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'm kind of. There's the robot dinosaur one. It looks a bit weird. There's what else? The Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series, which
holy shit, that's
nothing. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you miss that?
I missed that. Yeah, I completely.
I didn't see that one.
Oh boo! Guardians of the Galaxy was easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
That really surprised me. I went to see it with a friend who we went to see another movie, but we missed it by like 15 minutes. I'm like, I just want to Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a Marvel movie, isn't it? Oh yeah, I've never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see, watch it. Man, it's just absolutely mind blowing. It's fantastic.
It was really,
It was
really
good. I
good.
saw it twice.
Yeah, really loved it.
Same.
I think honestly, the soundtrack just did it for me. That's what just blew me out of the water.
I don't think I've ever felt this with a film, but when the title came up and Chris Pratt slid across the screen, that at that moment I had in my head, holy shit, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it just clicked. You could just tell at that point the film was balanced. Like it went from him landing on a dark planet with all these people who died, and then just sliding across the screen
And so hooked on a
and
film.
getting
yeah,
a laugh. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
They did real well with that, yeah.
And I just sat back and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do with that because they don't have the same voice actors, but I think it could still. I mean, they could.
I think
'Cause-
Telltale needs to update their engine before they make more games.
Yeah, I do not. I have a lot of issues with Telltale. If we want to get into that, I mean,
Have you played any?
What's wrong with Telltale?
do you play Telltale games?
Yeah. The last one I played was Batman.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I loved the Batman Telltale game, but when you have like, I had a few issues when there were glitches and like they say, oh, we'll do an episode a month, and then it's like, when's it coming out? Oh, it's coming out tomorrow. They say 2 months later.
Yeah.
It's like, be a bit of a professional company. But then, when I looked into it, they employ over 200 people.
Have they got
I don't understand how they can have 200 employees and not make a 2-hour game once a month without glitches. Like, you just play it once and you go, oh, that character's face disappeared. Remove the glitch before you launch it. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, I think it's good that they're bringing like movies and TV shows like Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy to a game format. But I
Yeah.
think, I really like The Walking Dead. Both the season 1, season 2, I played.
I think Telltale and just a random company, Zen Studios, who do pinball games, they just have the market cornered. Like, Zen
Yeah,
are the
there's no
only
one else
company
who does
doing pinball.
Yeah.
Telltale are the only company doing Telltale games.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Life is Strange, but there isn't another one. And there's going to be
Actually,
like...
wait, did Life is Strange come out this year?
No, 2015.
Yeah. Alright, well, that was my 2015 game of the year. That was I really liked it.
But yeah, I think nothing's been said about it, but I think this year for Telltale is Walking Dead Season 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, Game of Thrones, and an original IP, which they haven't done an original IP since 2009, I think. So I think they've got the experience. I hope it's good. They're kind of like doing so many things at once. It's like they can't crack. Just put the time in.
Yeah, I think about it when I look back, and I really liked the 2 Walking Deads, and I really liked the Wolf Among Us. I'd never heard of it before, but when I played it, I really, really enjoyed it. So I don't think they can
Wolf Among Us was good.
Wolf Among Us, yes. Yeah, I think.
I played the Game of Thrones Telltale season 1, Fire of Ice, through Fire and Ice, and that was the first Telltale game that I played. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Xbox One.
Yeah, it had not that good of an ending. The looping back around in the Game of Thrones one, they got like, I think Tyrion and
Well, they got actual voice.
they got the actual voices because it was TV.
Yes. Yeah. No.
I mean, you were a Parks and Rec fan, so you can probably talk for his character. I do not have any doubt that Chris Pratt would voice in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He'd love to do it. I think he'd really enjoy that.
So I would hope that they get the actual movie. I mean, they won't get Vin Diesel or Bradley, any of those famous people.
Yeah.
But they could get at least Star-Lord to do voices.
I think Chris Pratt would really enjoy doing that. He's just that kind of guy, really.
Yeah. It seems like, I mean, it'd be better than having people try and do the voices similar or having random characters not related to Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, other than that, and then the only other thing, when you mentioned Life is Strange, Vampire's coming out next year, which is the Life is Strange devs
Is it?
vampire game. Which
Is it the same like Telltale style?
No, it's So you played Life is Strange, are you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like have you seen Vampire? Anything for it? Their new game, Vampire.
No, I haven't.
It's not the same kind of thing. It's like a open world vampire simulator, and I think the selling point. I mean, they haven't talked about it much. I think the selling point is that you get to know the characters you have to kill. Like, you have to kind of research them. You have to know what time they're going to be alone.
That's interesting.
And then it's like, do you want to kill this person? They're such a nice person.
I think they could be the next. I think the Life is Strange devs could become the next Telltale with that kind of moral standpoint.
It's like a full AAA high quality. Like, it's not a Life is Strange style game, but
I'm excited to see that actually.
Yeah, I'm just doing some reading on it right now.
yeah, it looks. I think there's one gameplay trailer out that's like a minute long, but I mean, it's kind of early. I think they're saying late 2017. It'll probably get pushed back.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting if it came out.
I think that's maybe vampires will be the next zombie games that we've had enough of recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Going back to vampires.
Yeah.
Twilight, everybody.
We've done the whole loop. We've been back. We had zombies for a bit, but we're back to vampires.
Yeah. I don't have an issue if it does become that. I mean,
I think they've got enough to do with them.
I've got literally only other thing on here is Destiny 2, which, if I'm being completely frank, just because I'm kind of salty about the whole thing, I hope doesn't come out next year. Just because it'd be so great if they've been waiting like 4 years for the game that was supposed to come out after like 18 months.
Yeah, maybe if it comes out for PC, I might grab it just because I'm shocking at console shooters.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, I'd only grab it because we have friends that talk about it so much that it's like, well, if you're going to play 50 hours a week, I might as well play one at least.
Yeah.
It never really interests me.
What do you think about the first Destiny?
I played the demo, which was up to level 20, and I didn't.
Yeah, I traded in after about one mission, which is pretty sad, but I just can't do the grind. I can't do the grind.
Yeah, see, because I have so many other games to play, like, if I liked it more, or if I only played that, easy. But it's like, I can't devote like 20 hours a week to keeping my level up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But then it appeals to the people who absolutely can. Like, we have a friend who can give that 20 hours a week and regularly like wants to be, I'll do the raid the second it comes out. And for that, like, it's great. But I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just a bad game for me. It just doesn't appeal to me. I think Destiny 2
Right.
fix a lot of issues that some people have had and really just become the next big MMO. I really think it can. As much as sometimes I don't want it to be, I think it really can.
Yeah.
No, when I played it, I really got the what was the game that came out before it? Borderlands. It really had that Borderlands feel to it. That open-ended. I guess it's a bit linear. That shooter open MMO real feel to it, where you have to go through, upgrade weapons, do all that stuff. So I mean, when I first played, I was like, oh, it's Borderlands, but these guys are dressed like Boba Fett,
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I think that's probably it for 2017. And then the only other thing that we should discuss is movies. If anyone had one or a few movies from the year that they enjoyed.
I really liked, actually no, someone else can talk and we'll look at the list. Actually no, screw it, I saw Rogue One yesterday, that was fantastic. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, excellent movie, excellent, I loved it.
I'm glad that everyone here has seen it. Proper spoiler warning. I liked the film all the way through, whereas some people say they liked only the last bit. I liked all of it. I'm not I think it was better than episode 7, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, totally.
I don't know, half and half of me. I think I enjoyed
the darkness appealed to me more.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I love. Well, the two things I loved most were firstly that no character that should have died survived. Like there was no shoehorning. Like the two main characters, they got out at the last second. Like, I would have absolutely just been pissed off if that happened. I'm so glad that just they all died because they all died as part of the war. Like there was this point where when I don't know their names, but the one guy who had to run across to the ship to plug in the thing, not the blind guy, the rebel pilot.
Yeah, the pilot.
Yeah. And how that one guy saw him start running, just one random rebel trooper stood up, started shooting, give him cover fire, give him just another second, just one more inch to get across. It really felt like it was a war that these guys were fighting, and they were willing to just give up their life just for that another chance, another second. I had goosebumps just in that bit. I thought it was bloody fantastic. I loved it.
I I
Yeah, I
can't
agree.
I can't be bothered. I'll put it in the video when they was kneeling on the beach, collapsed, and the light was coming over them. It reminded me, um, this might have been the second time I watched it because I think I saw this on a Reddit post actually. I think some veteran said that when he saw that, it reminded him. It was the only film that reminded him this poem about the sacrifice of war. Which, when you think about it, there's not a lot of war films. And I kind of agree with the fact that it really was, at the end, just an absolute testament to sacrificing your entire life.
Like it might
Just
be
for one, just for hope.
Yeah,
just for hope
It's one.
that this will help a
Yeah.
tiny little bit.
I'm so glad they didn't kiss as well. I'm really happy
Yeah.
about that. I was just pleased.
Yeah.
Not to kiss. Like, come on, that'll be the worst you'll want to get.
Mm. Yeah. This was Rogue One. It's this is my favorite Star Wars movie right after Empire. Yeah, it's gone up there. It's number 2 on my list. What I really liked about it was the different take on Star Wars. It's to be honest, you could have not they could have not even used Star Wars. It would have been a good movie. Just change the plot around. They're here to sacrifice themselves to get something, but having the name Star Wars behind putting it into that galaxy, it was really well done. And with the Star Wars films in the past and the present, prequels, Episode 7, the original trilogy, it's never showed us that really dark side of the galaxy that we've always that's always been alluded to, like the we've seen bits and pieces of the Clone Wars and the Galactic War, but seeing people like really die. I mean, this is the first time Star Wars has gone to that. I mean, under the leadership of Disney, of course, I would see it. And that's even, you know, that's a really bold step for them. But yeah, it's like you said before in that third act where they're fighting and they're just willing to sacrifice, go in all or nothing. And that it gave me goosebumps as well. That was such a good movie. I have to see it again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I don't want to disagree with any of your points, but I do have to say, I think the point that it could be just not a Star Wars film is kind of true. But I think the nostalgia of the people watching it, but the people making it as well. I think if it wasn't a Star Wars film, you wouldn't have had the dedication to make it as good as it was, in my opinion. I don't think that same group of people could have made that quality film of just a random sci-fi adventure. I think the Star Wars, which is why it's more exciting seeing all of these other anthology films coming down the line, just random films in the future that could be anything. They could be a comedy or a gritty like crime film or something, but it'll all have that same hopefully quality because the people really care about the material from their childhood.
Yeah.
That they're adapting.
That's true.
So you'd mentioned that you had liked this over episode 7. What were your gripes with episode 7?
See, I didn't dislike episode 7. I just think that I prefer the dark feeling of this film, the gritty realism of it compared to like episode 7 is fourth or third best for me. Like it's not the best, but I didn't like dislike it very much. And then Rogue One's now second or first because it's just.
I think I'm around the same. I did like the dark side of the universe, so I really enjoyed episode 7. But that was, I guess, the first. I think I saw episode 3 in the cinemas. Like my parents might have taken me to that. That's how young I am. But definitely episode 7, being able to sit in that theater and hear the Star Wars theme going and see the crew and just there's just something about that. I really enjoyed the movie. I did. I don't. Yeah.
A good transition here. I think episode 8, which is supposed to be a lot darker, will end up being the best one because have you seen Fast and Furious 7? Were you completely kind of was that your favorite?
Out of the Fast and Furious series, no. My favorite was Part Two.
Okay, because I think the fact that Paul died made it so much more emotional, and it's a bit of a sad day today besides everything, but episode 8 being a lot darker, and now whether they actually kill her off or whatever, I think the fact that Carrie Fisher's died is going to add a lot more. Like, episode 8 is going to have to be so good.
Well, yeah, because now Luke's lost his 2, he's lost Han, and he's lost
I mean, everyone that's working on it is taking a day, and they're going to go back and they're going to be like, shit, this has to be perfect.
Yeah, out of respect, yeah.
Yeah. And
So did they finish filming it, or they're just still filming it?
apparently they finished filming her scenes, but
That's good.
we all saw Rogue One that they did the CGI Tarkin and Leia.
I didn't realise that Tarkin was CGI
They're both
until
CGI.
someone told me, which was really interesting because I couldn't tell.
And the Tarkin was dead. Like, they did that from scratch. So having filmed her scenes, they could not kill her off in this one and have her die in 9 or keep her around. It depends what she agreed to.
Yeah.
She could have already signed something, but I think anyway, the Dark film, to me it makes sense that they're gonna. I mean, I already thought that she would die in the next one, and then Luke would die in the 9th one. It just makes sense to kill them off so they don't have to keep bringing them back as old actors.
Right.
I think it'll be quite.
I think I'll do it with respect, though. I think.
Did anyone see Star Trek Beyond?
No.
Because
No.
one of the actors died after 2, and the way they dealt with his death was just very similar. They just had him die in the universe, and all the characters mourn it. And just seeing the characters mourn someone that's actually dead, it just really hits home for some reason. Like, just seeing them react to it, even though it's on film, it's like, damn, that happened.
No,
Right.
That's good.
That was Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, is that Chekhov?
Yeah.
Chekhov died,
They also in the same film, they also dealt with Leonard Nimoy's death, which was
that's nice. That's good.
pretty big.
Yeah.
I think we'll end off with if anyone had a final film that they wanted to recommend from me, I definitely did. If people haven't seen it yet. Recently, I saw Arrival, which I had a lot of hype for from Bernie Burns, whose opinion I respect on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and that was the main reason I went and saw it. And the trailers made it look like it would be an alright sci-fi. It's probably the smartest, most well-written sci-fi I've seen in a very long time. Like, I can't think of anything, maybe Ex Machina, but I can't think of anything that was anywhere on that level. And I think the guy who directed it is directing Blade Runner next year, which is good for him.
Oh, yeah. Blade
That'll be a
Runner.
big one. You got big shoes to fill with that one.
Yeah. But
Totally.
there's a lot of Oscar buzz on that. When the Oscars come around, that Arrival will be the film I'll be rooting for, so people should probably see that.
But my films would be I'll skim over Deadpool because kind of everybody liked that.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good film. But my controversial film of the year is probably Suicide Squad, which is interesting because I know a lot of people didn't really like it. Didn't like Jared Leto's appearance as Joker, which it makes sense. It would be pretty hard to follow Heath Ledger's Joker, which is I'm sure he was a bit worried about that. And I didn't particularly like his interpretation, but
Dropping
it was
all the dead actors' names today.
Yeah, right. It was just dead actor day today. I don't think it was a bad take on the Joker. I think it was just his take on the Joker, and I didn't go into the film expecting a amazing film. It's the same. I went into Batman vs Superman, wanted Superman to punch Batman in the face, and it happened, and I was happy with that. And I went into Suicide Squad to see a bunch of different DC villains team up with each other and just kind of create a chaos. And again, the soundtrack did justice to the film. I really think it worked really well. That's my kind of controversial opinion on Suicide Squad.
I'll just put in this one comment. Batman and Suicide Squad were not well-directed or acted films, but the universe there, I like a lot more than anyone. Like, there's so much. Like, I liked Harley Quinn. Out of everything, Harley Quinn's my favourite DC character now. Just out of all of them, just love that take on it. Did you have a recommended film review?
Recommended film, besides all the blockbusters that came out this year, there's one called 999. That's with Woody Harrelson.
I think
Sorry.
that's the bank robbing one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where-
with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Oh shit.
Yep.
I'm gonna put this on my list in a minute. What?
Triple
Yeah,
Nine.
That's a good call. I forgot about that. That
Yep.
was really good.
Yep. 999. It's a cop movie pretty much, but it shows like the darker side of law enforcement. I mean, what they're willing to do to get the job done. It's a good movie.
That sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, I think it was. Do you have the actors there?
Yep. In 999. 999, you have Woody Harrelson. You have the other Hemsworth brother. No, not Hemsworth. I'm sorry, Casey Affleck. I'm sorry, I don't know why I got those two confused. Casey Affleck, Anthony Mackie, Aaron Paul, Gal Gadot. She's in there, and yes, he's in there as well. He plays a really good villain.
They're all really
good actors. I think that's what brought it up.
Like,
Mhm.
all the acting in that film was
The acting in that film was superb.
It was good.
Well, unless anyone has anything else they want to say, I think that's it for this test episode.
It's quite enjoyable, to be honest.
Awesome.
Okay, this has been the Jack Shit podcast. Make sure to tune back in later in January. Make sure to check out the Freedom link in the description and comment if you want to win one of those two games, which one you want to win. And check out Ryu's channel in the description. Thank you for being here, Ryu, on short notice.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome to come back if you want to next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been
Thanks for
good.
being here, Tiles.
No worries. This is really enjoyable. I didn't know how podcasts would go, but I've had a good chat with you lads. Yeah.
Alright, thanks.
My first time on a podcast, to be honest with you. It's cool.
Yeah.